Another 40x NFT airdrop, super time-sensitive Monad and Soneium news, as well as general state of the market and what I'm currently mostly focused on. Let's get started immediately. Starting with news from Moolitia. Of course, this was the NFT mint for everyone who had those milk cartons from the Milky Way Cosmos liquid staking. So if you got this one, of course, it was only mint price for 1 TIA, currently selling for about 40 TIA on highlight. So this is not, of course, mammoth-esque returns, but is still amazing to get even in this mini bear market situation to still get these kinds of returns is definitely positive. Of course, if you've been doing this on multiple wallets, it is much better than just $100 to $200. But of course, this is how everyone makes their own strategy of multi-walleting effectively. In Monad, by the time you're watching this, it might already be too late, but in case you still haven't done any transactions on Monad Testnet, it is highly recommended to get some transactions in, any organic transaction, using their faucet and some testnet dApps in order to get the early user badge. It is maybe going to be the biggest airdrop of 2025. Maybe also the most farmed one, but in this case, they have really done an amazing job with airdrops in the past, so maybe they continue trend. Of course, if you want to be up to date with most of these things, it is incredibly important to be not just waiting for YouTube videos, but actually talking with people in real time when these things happen, because most of this information is usually 1 to 2 days late on YouTube, obviously. So you want to be up to speed in real time with people who are talking about these things all the time. Another opportunity, of course, is with Soneium. You had 45 days to get your early user badge, and it ends on February 27th. So if you still have time to do this, make sure to do all the transactions. You need to do 45 transactions, and there are many different ways that we've already talked about how to get these transactions simply and efficiently. Soneium is, of course, incredibly cheap, scalable blockchain, even though there's a lot of FUD regarding Sony itself, because there was a lot of problems in day 1 and day 2. Maybe this is one of those underfarmed opportunities that really do multiples. Now, generally speaking, it is very difficult to stay motivated in times when centralized exchanges are maybe manipulating the markets. These are some crazy accusations, but apparently because of the Bybit hack, there was some kind of situation where other centralized exchanges were trying to bail them out, not to have an FTX kind of situation. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. All we know is that all of crypto is currently down really bad. Bitcoin is under 90K, ETH is approaching 2K, SOL under 150. It's absolutely crazy. But in all of this, there is one cryptocurrency which for the last 6 years, I literally called make-believe click-coin, but this thing is just, this Pi thing, I have no words. I don't know why this is rising in price. It doesn't make any sense, but for those of you who have actually been like clicking for the last couple of years, congratulations. This is really a surprise like none other, in all fairness. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but in general, when times are super bad and nobody's doing anything, like when airdrops feel dead, when crypto feels dead, this is when your time is worth the most. If you can focus yourself up to actually get some work done in this space, to get some airdrops sorted, to farm some Monad activity, some Soneium, maybe some Hyperliquid or whatever airdrops that you're farming usually, if you can get yourself to get busy now, it's going to be worth so much more, because you're going to have so much fewer people who are actually competing against you. Because we know all the metrics that nobody's really paying attention to crypto for the last couple of weeks. Everything is in shambles. But if you can actually get some kind of strength to actually get the work in now, it's going to be worth so much more, because it's super easy to be super productive after like stuff like Arbitrum Hyperliquid happens. But when nobody is making money in crypto, let's be real, now is the best time to actually get the work for the future. So there's that. And on that note, we oftentimes talk about strategies and all different kinds of methods to get sorted in crypto for life, but in reality, we're all humans, and this journey is much easier traveled together than if you're just doing these things on your own. So from that perspective, also just talking with people who are actually still with you in the trenches, grinding and getting work in, that is actually sometimes even more important than actual activity, strategy, and results that you get from actually doing the work. So keep that in mind. It's not all just strategy, it's also something about community as well. If you want to be a part of our community, this is all you need to know is on our official website, which is always in the first link of every video. It will take you there. It will show you if you need monthly, yearly plans or an airdrop track application that will help you keep organized. Of course, strategy is also very important. So we will break down super quickly one that has been incredibly beneficial for me in the last couple of months and maybe over a year now. So it's called delta neutral. And this is the best possibility that you can do for farming perpetual dexes because, of course, if trading is super hard and it's incredibly easy to get liquidated if you're trying to build a huge volume, which is most important thing for airdrops, because when you're farming these things, exchanges just want volume, and you can only get huge amount of volume by using huge leverage. So it is, of course, super scary, super risky to do these things because it's incredibly easy to lose money, but you can use something that's called delta neutral, which means opening a long on one platform. So let's say you open long on ETH on Reya at the same time on 2,441, you open long here and you open short on the same pair at the same exact moment at the same price. You can keep the trade open for as long as you want, and as long as you close it at the same time, and you open, of course, open and close at the same time, you're only going to be paying for platform fees. This is something that has helped me so much not to get liquidated ever since the summer of 2024. So keep that in mind. I still believe that perpetual dexes are one of the best airdrop opportunities still to this date because they cannot be sibbled and they have proven to be, okay, let's be real, 10 of them were total garbage. There were a couple half decent ones like Zeta, Drift, and a couple of those. Hyperliquid, of course, but if you're gonna go through the hard work of actually getting these things done, you need to know the best way to do it and maybe make an amazing return with all this. And another great thing about this is that you should never ever get branded as a wash trader, because sometimes people, when they're farming volume, they open a trade and then close it in a couple of seconds, and this is not very organic volume. This is just, airdrop farming, and perpetual dexes don't usually like that. So they usually punish wash traders, and that means that sometimes they actually give some kind of penalties or completely nullify the volume if you have trade open for less than 5 minutes. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, doesn't matter. But in this scenario, you can keep it open for days. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't get liquidated once, make sure you guys use stop losses. My strategy is best usually 3% in minus, 6% in plus, and then depending how often it gets hit, of course, you want to use it when it's constant downtrend or constant uptrend. If it's just choppy, you're going to get lost on both 3%. But, it's sometimes a price to pay to actually build volume in a relatively safe manner. And let's wrap up with some under the radar opportunities, starting with Magic Newton. This is the one we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and they actually have an NFT that you can mint, and it only costs 2 Polygon. All you need to do is connect to their guild XYZ, get some simple social tasks in order, and get your NFT sorted. They have a huge amount of funding. They have about 85 million in funding, so it actually might be half decent. And finally, we have Kaito. Kaito, of course, has the Kaito Connect votes every week. If you have some smart followers, or if you have collected some yaps over this couple of weeks and months, make sure to put them to work, as well as Kaito staking. If you actually have some Kaito from Airdrop, or maybe you bought an open market and you're staking them, your voting is also starting just now, and it's going to last for a couple more days as well. And that is a wrap for all the topics for today. Remember that it's not just crypto that has leverage, time has leverage as well. Your time is worth so much more when everyone else is sleeping. If you have any questions, comments, drop them in the comment section below. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. And until next time, thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.